Hello guys, we just keep doing quadratic functions and we still on basics. So that's again basic video for about quadratic functions, and today we're gonna practice a little bit about this topic, and we're trying to distinguish what quadratic function is and whether it's quadratic function or it's not, and maybe like linear or something else. All right, so I just remind you that standard form of the quadratic functions yx is simply x squared plus bx plus c. So the strategy is, if you're given an equation and you are asked to define whether this is quadratic function, you just simply need to come to this general form. All right, so for example, you have y from x equals, let's say, 3 minus x squared. Okay, is it quadratic one or not? First of all, the first analysis need to be done with the leading coefficients. So x squared, do you have it? Yeah, of course. So that's why it's better to rearrange and say that y from x is actually negative x squared. It goes on the first place. Then do you have bx term? No. Why? So many students don't understand. Oh, I missed that. What it means is sort of like another quadratic equation. No, it's still the same. However, b value is simply 0. All right, so because b is 0, we have b 0 times x is simply absent term because the result is 0. So that's why in this case simply we have b equals 0. All right, do we have c now? Yes, we do. It's 3. So that's why you just write plus 3. Okay, like many other questions require you to distinguish if you have this as the general form and you have your own function 3 minus x squared. Please tell me what coefficient a, b, c are. Okay, so let's define coefficient a, b, c just by comparison. So we know that a's leading coefficient stays before x, and however you have the minus here, you can say that a is just minus. Minus which number? Because a, b, c should be numbers. Obviously it's -1, because if it were 0, that's misleading, because 0 will timed by x squared, the result obviously is 0. So that's why it's not possible. Okay, so that's why the only possible coefficient is -1. Alright, so as we mentioned, b is 0. And what about c? C is the last coefficient, so it's 3. So just keep in mind that the sign that stays before, let's say, variable or before a number, it sticks to the number or it sticks to the variable. Sign cannot be without any number. So as in this example, you see negative x squared, simply negative minus sign stick to the number or to the variable x squared. Okay, so next one, let's try to have another example. For example, that one, 2y minus x squared plus 2x. Okay, and let's say it equals to 0. So what sort of equation it is, or what sort of function is that? Because you have y here and you have some x's there, you need to split, because your y normally should be on the left hand side. So that's why you just simply need to make y as a subject. In other words, you need to express your y and make a subject in this equation. All right, let's do it. So first of all, we express 2y, so we collect all that and transfer to the right side. So minus x squared becomes positive here, and plus 2x becomes negative 2x. All right, what we're going to do next, we need to divide by 2, because we want to have purely y, which is on the left side. So we'll get y equals x squared over 2 minus, and 2x over 2 will give us x. Okay, so as in the previous case, let's find coefficient a, b, and c. So we know that general equation should have the following form. So y equals ax squared plus bx and plus c, where a, b, c are just coefficients, some numbers. All right, so you need to give the values for them. And let's have a look at the first leading term, x squared over 2. Like many people or many students used to say that a is just 2. No, guys, it's wrong. Because, look, you have x squared not times 2, otherwise it would be times 2, right? In this case, you have x squared over 2. So what are you going to do? You just need to say that before like saying what a coefficient is, you just need to arrive to this model, a times x squared. Because you have x squared over 2, that means in your equation, y equals 1 over 2 x squared minus x. So you just reroute s through multiplication. So that's why a equals 2 is not correct. All right? So before just going to and trying to say and trying to figure out what a stands for, you need to say that 1 over 2 is simple now factor before x squared, and that's why the whole 1 over 2 is exactly the coefficient before x squared. So a is 1 over 2. What about b? So the next term is b, so b is -1, okay? So that's why b is simply -1. And what about c? C is just absent, so c is 0, right? So hope you understand that. If not, just one more time, try to make sure that you do it correctly. I mean, you find the same structure according to your general form, and you'll be able to find all the coefficients and make a statement about what sort of function you have. So in both cases, we have quadratic functions, and that's why that's necessary practice you need to do by your own with me. It doesn't matter. So you need to do that. All right. So hope you like that. Just give some comments. Don't forget to subscribe and share this video and other videos about like different topics for GCSE preps, actually with anyone within your students within your community, and you'll get your benefits, trust me. All right, thank you and goodbye.